What's up, everyone? How's it going? I'm back again after a long delay. Sorry for not making any more videos. I told you guys I would. I'm actually just getting back into it right now. So since the last time we talked, a lot has happened in my life. So first off, I injured my back twice. So that was pretty horrible. Hurt my back really bad twice, did a lot of rehab and recovery. I'm still in the process of that, but I'm fully back into the gym doing stuff again. Diet's a lot stricter nowadays. Leaned out a little bit since last time. Still got a long ways to go. But anyways, today is Saturday. I just did an arm and shoulder workout about 3 hours ago. Came back home, got my post-workout meal, and I looked in the fridge and I was out of food. So take a look at my fridge. I basically have some almond butter, some vegetables that I cooked, a lot of calorie-free sodas and some energy drinks, and some almond milk. And then I just have some, some condiments there. That's about it though. So came back home and I was like, what the hell? I'm out of chicken, I'm out of rice, I'm out of all the stuff I need to do. So what I typically do nowadays, over the last month or two, I've been really strict with my diet. Hold on, I'm trying to set this thing up straight. There we go. Been really strict with my diet, been hitting macros for every single meal, 5 to 6 meals a day, consistently. So I've been doing meal preps, weekly meal preps to make my life easier. So I thought, what the fuck, I'm gonna do it anyways. Might as well film it, maybe someone else will find it sort of interesting. So what I'm gonna be preparing today is about a little over 10 pounds, maybe 11, 12 pounds of chicken breast. I'm gonna season it, cook it on a skillet on the pan, or on the stovetop. Also gonna be making 3 cups of brown rice, which lasts me about 2 days with my current diet the way it is. And I like to cook rice fresh because it's so easy, just throw it in a rice cooker. So you're doing that. And I'm just gonna walk you guys through the whole process. So the most important thing before we begin of any meal prep is starting with a clean kitchen. So I don't know if you can see this, but I have all my dishes washed and dried. My countertops are clean. I got everything set out just the way I want it. So let me walk you through what I have here. So first off, I've got 4 Pyrex containers. This is where I'm gonna put all my chicken. I'm gonna put 24 ounces of chicken in each of these guys. I eat 6 ounces of chicken per meal, so each of these is gonna hold 4 meals for me. And that way, when I pull it out of the fridge, I can just visually say like I want to grab a quarter of this container worth of chicken for each meal. So that makes it pretty easy. Secondly, I have a frying pan, so this is what I'm using to cook the chicken. I also have a lid ready to go, and I have a nice little spatula for chopping things up and making sure things go smooth. Now, on to seasonings. I have quite a few seasonings, but what I'm rolling with today is going to be real simple, but I promise you it tastes good. Actually, I'm stealing this recipe from Roman Fritz. You look him up, awesome bodybuilder. But basically, salt, pepper, and crushed red pepper flakes. You can get these anywhere, they taste amazing. I like stuff a little bit spicy. The chicken we're gonna be making today is really good, just plain or with vegetables or whatever. It just tastes amazing, honestly. There's no calories in the marinade or anything like that, so nothing to worry about. I've also got a plate up here. I've got a big Tupperware, which I'm using for my rice. Have my rice cooker. And in the sink down here, I've got exactly, about 11 pounds of chicken. So it's ready to go. It's in the package. I'm gonna walk you through the whole thing. But as you can see, having things set up and prepared is really important. It makes the thing go way smoother. Oh. And you need just some scissors to slice your chicken up. So with that said, let's just get straight into it. So first thing I'm gonna do is get this rice ready to go. So last night what I did is I got a bunch of brown rice and put in exactly 3 cups worth of brown rice into my rice cooker. So what I'm gonna do is add 6 cups of water. So the secret to making brown rice is double the water for how many cups you have. So I'm gonna fill this up real quick, right to the 6 line. And brown rice takes forever to cook, so about 3 cups is about 45 minutes or so. So I'm gonna start this right now so it finishes in a bit. Bam. Okay, this is filled up with 6 cups of water. If you take a look in the rice cooker, they almost all have this. There's a little 6 line in there, and that's exactly where I filled the water to. So Plop this thing in the rice cooker. Close the lid. And now let's turn this thing on. So let's just get this guy back in here. Bam, there we go. Plugged in. Turn that on to cook. And we're already making progress. So now we got the rice going. So let's do the chicken. Let me see if I can angle this camera a bit, by the way. Down here. Hold on a sec. Bear with me. I'm not yet that great at doing videos, so apologize. Let's see if this works. I got this little foldable tripod thing I'm experimenting with here. So hopefully this is viewable to you guys. Okay, so let's take a look at how this is gonna ideally work. First thing we're gonna want to do is grab our bacon pan and get it over here. We have a food scale too, really important if you want to weigh your food out. But before we do that, what we're going to do is just rinse all of our chicken off. So I like to do one package at a time. So I'm going to open up one of these packages, rinse off all the chicken to get that nasty, build up off of there, that slimy goo. And then that's it. So let's do that real fast. So hopefully this works out all right. Video. Let's do it. Got my scissors, slicing this thing open. Cool. Now this was actually on sale today, so this is already trimmed. So the butcher already sliced this stuff up a bit for me, which is nice. So might be a little bit of fat to trim off. I'm not a big fan of fat, so I cut it off. But not much. The guys already did most of it. Rinse this off. Get that goo off of there. I noticed when you rinse your chicken really well, it ends up just tasting way better. You don't have like the sliminess in the bottom of your pan or anything like that. So, by the way, I'm using cold water for this. If you rinse with hot water, it toughens the chicken up a little bit, which I don't like. So, using just cold water. Rinsing all these breasts up. Cutting off a little fat here and there. I hate fatty meats. Not a fan at all. Even when I'm eating steak and stuff like that, I like it to be really lean. So, if you like to keep the fat on there, go for it, man. But if you're on a strict diet too, make sure you account for those extra fat calories and macros. Right now when I'm eating, most of my meals I'm eating 50 carbs, do brown rice. And mainly that's just because it's the low glycemic index type carb, so it's not gonna up my insulin level too much. Also, whenever you're working with raw meat, you wanna wash your hands a lot, so let's do that. A little soap. But yeah, so I'm doing about 50 carbs per meal, 6 ounces of chicken, which is about 51 grams of protein, chicken breast. And I'm doing 8 grams of fats per meal. Now the chicken breast on its own has 6 grams of fat. So I added an extra 2 grams per meal, not much. So anyways, we got our chicken breast all rinsed off. So now, the next thing we're gonna do, let's see if you can see it better from up here. Hopefully this works okay. There we go. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do this. So we're gonna turn our food scale on. There we go. So right now it's set to just, there's nothing on there. So it's measuring in ounces. So I'm gonna set this down. Make sure it's at 0. I'm gonna put my cooking pan on top. And I'm gonna hit the on button again to tare it. And that way it goes back to 0. So whatever we put in here, we basically wanna put 24 ounces worth of chicken into this pan. Now 24 ounces of chicken, so this scale, what it does is once it gets up to 16 ounces, which is a pound, it'll actually start showing a pound. So 16 plus 8 is 24. So there's 16 ounces plus 8 ounces is 24 ounces. So what we want to put in here is 1 pound and 8 ounces worth of chicken. Now, because chicken breast has a ton of water inside of it, I always add a little bit extra just to account for, you know, missing a few pieces here and there, dropping stuff on the floor, or just, you know, slight overestimation I like to do. So I always try to go for 1 pound and 10 ounces. So what I'm gonna do now, I have all these clean chicken breasts. I come over here, and I'm just starting to slice up this chicken breast. So I have the scissors and I'm cutting into small little bite-sized pieces. Now, one of the tricks I've learned over doing meal prep for a while, over the past few years, is that, you know, a lot of the time, if you're trying to stick to a strict diet, right, you have a few choices. So one of the things you can do is you can measure out all your food, and you can eat like 3 big meals a day. So you can say, you know, I'm gonna have these 3 big meals a day. Now, if you do that, you don't need to do this, because usually people have time to eat 3 meals a day. You know, they're at home in the morning for breakfast. Maybe you bring a little lunch to work and you have an hour to eat or whatever. And then at dinner time, you know, you can heat up your food or whatever it is. But basically, the point is that if you're only eating a few meals a day, you're gonna have enough time and leisure in your life to get a fork and slice up a full chicken breast. So you don't need it cut up, right? Now, unfortunately for me, I'm a busy guy and I'm trying to be strict on my diet. So I eat 5 to 6 meals a day. And now, when I'm eating, I have to carry little prepackaged meals with me around when I'm going to work. Luckily, I work from home most of the time, so this isn't an issue every day. But if I was going into the office every single day, I'd bring, you know, a bunch of prepackaged meals, so I could just pull it out of the fridge, heat it up in the microwave for a minute or two, and then just dive in. And because I'm working and I have a lot of things going on in my life, I don't have time to, you know, cut up a chicken breast with a fork and a knife, you know, 5 or 6 times a day. It just takes that extra time, which I don't like. It's annoying to me, and you know, it just gets in my way. And I like to be really efficient with what I'm doing. So by doing this just once a week and having everything nice and sliced up, all I need is a fork. I don't need a knife or anything. I just bite into my chicken, swallow it, done. It's a lot easier. So what I recommend to you guys is you guys do the same thing. So slice it up, have it ready to go. Just makes your life a little bit easier. And you know, another one of the things I've learned is, if you want to be strict, if you want to reach your goals, you really need to have discipline. And one of the best ways you can sort of get around it. So discipline's hard, right? But it's all a willpower game. But the less willpower you have to use to stay on your diet, the better. It's gonna stress you out less. You're not gonna feel as tired. The diet will just go easier. And so for me, I know that this is one of those things I can do. It just makes my life so much easier that it's just 100% worth it. It makes sticking to the diet really easy. It's not even a question to me. It's just, this is what I'm doing. So I'm almost at 1 pound and 10 ounces. There we go. So let me show you. So we got our chicken breast, and if you read the scale, 1 pound and 10.1 ounces. So just about perfect. So what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna wash my hands real quick. Get all that chicken juice off of me. Dry my hands a little bit. And hopefully this rice cooker isn't blocking your shot too much. Now what we're gonna do is season stuff. So what I'm gonna do is just grab some salt, pepper, and red pepper flakes. And just do it liberally on here. Now for me, right now, I'm not really watching my sodium intake at all. I'm not like prepping for a show or anything like that, just trying to lose some body fat. So for me, I don't care about salt intake. If you care about salt intake, you can, you know, measure that out too. So I did some salt, doing some pepper. And I mentioned this before, but I like my food real spicy, so I'm gonna add a little more. And now red pepper flakes. These are my favorite. Sprinkle these guys on. And these honestly make it taste amazing. You know, whether you're eating this with barbecue sauce or sriracha or whatever you want, it just tastes great no matter what. So in the end, chicken looks like this. I'm gonna mix it all up. Spread the flavoring around. Spread the chicken out a bit. Now let's wash these hands one more time. Cool. So, next step. Got our chicken. Move it to the stove. Gonna put the burner on medium heat and set a timer for about 17 minutes at first. The reason I'm doing 17, oh, don't forget to put a lid over your chicken. So you want to get all the chicken inside of this lid. This is gonna help keep the moisture in and keep it, well, excuse me, I had to sneeze. Anyways, this is gonna keep all the moisture in as you're cooking. And it just makes the chicken taste better. It won't be as tough and bumpy and stuff like that. Anyways, 17 minutes, because I just turned the stove on, is the perfect amount of time to cook about 24 ounces of chicken. Now what I'll do is about 5 minutes before it finishes, I'll come back and I'll show you guys this. I'm gonna grab my spatula and poke it up to break up all the pieces. Because like I said, I like it small and bite size, just to make my life easier. So I'll do that. But yeah, so basically you're gonna leave this on 17 minutes, let it cook. Now in the meantime, what I'm gonna do, this is where this plate comes in. So I have this extra plate over here. And this is so I can prep the next batch of chicken as the other stuff's cooking. So let's do that. Hopefully you can see roughly everything from down here. Got my scale. Let's tear this thing again. Okay, and back to chicken. Now when you're cooking a lot of chicken like this, you know, I'm gonna be doing this at least 4 times, right? I like to have everything ready. So I've got 17 minutes right now to prep this next batch, which is tons of time. And so by just getting things ready, it just makes it less stressful. If you need to do any other stuff while you're doing this, like if you want to cook some vegetables, it gives you a perfect opportunity to do that. I already have some vegetables cooked in the fridge, so I don't need anything. If you just want to get a drink or watch a TV show too, that works. But again, I try to be as efficient as possible with this stuff. Save myself time. If I'm gonna do something, I want to do it, you know, all the way. I want to focus on it. I just want to get it over with and move on to the next thing. And yeah, so one of the things that's become easier and easier as I've been doing this more and more over the last couple months is that, you know, the more I prep my food, so the better I get at this, the faster I can do it, you know, the more, you know, the better you mess with spices and find stuff you like, stuff like that. Your diet just becomes so much easier because you have this food ready to go in the fridge. If you have to go anywhere, you literally just throw it in a smaller Tupperware container and carry it with you. It just makes things so easy. And that is how you can be successful with a diet. Cut this up a little bit more. So 1 pound, 2 ounces. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut another bag of chicken open down here because we ran out of the first one. And I'm gonna rinse this chicken breast off down here. Now also, this other, you know, bag of chicken is empty now. So I like to throw that away right away. I hate leaving stuff in the sink. So got rid of that. Let me wash my hands before I touch the camera again. The cleaner you can be, the better, is my motto. So let me just point this down there. Hopefully you can see us all right. So some cold water, rinsing these chicken breasts, and I'm gonna trim the fat off any pieces I don't want on there. So there's a few pieces on here I just want to trim off real quick. Especially cartilage. Like, man, I hate cartilage. I hate the way it tastes. It's disgusting. It makes me like almost choke. So I want to get rid of it. Trim that off. Okay, one done. trimming a little more of this cartilage off here. Hopefully you can see this all right. So as I'm doing this also, so my diet's been going well. Right now I'm sitting at about 223 pounds as of this morning. Now I'm a relatively big guy, so when I started, working out and stuff, I was a little over 300 pounds. So I've come down quite a bit. That was about, 5 years ago when I was about 300. So dropped a lot of weight. I got into CrossFit, did a lot of CrossFit and like cardio type stuff, and dropped all the way down to 220, but I was scrawny at that point. I still had plenty of weight on me, but man, I was like a little chicken leg or whatever. So then what I decided to do is go back to the gym, focus on bodybuilding stuff, and try to learn how to get the physique I actually wanted, And my bodybuilding idol is Jay Cutler. So he's got sort of like the goal physique I'm trying to aim for. Or not that I'm trying to aim for, but something that I really respect. He's got a good look. It's like takes a lot of discipline, hard work. And anyways, I just like the huge look that people have. Mass monster, whatever. So anyways, back to this, cleaning this stuff off here. But yeah, so diet's been going really good. In the last few months, I dropped about, or in the last month, I dropped about, since I started getting real strict with my meal preps and everything, eating every single meal home cooked, dropped about 15 pounds of body fat, and it's been going pretty well. I'm eating more calories than I ever have. So right now I'm at about 3,500 calories per day-ish with all my meals and everything. Maybe a little more depending on the day. So let's re-tear this scale. Oh crap. What I just realized is the scale battery is getting close to dying, so damn, that's annoying. Hold up. Let's get a bowl real quick. So let me move this chicken into a bowl temporarily here. So this plate, let's re-tear it. Bam. Okay, now I'll dump this back on. 1.2 pounds, so we got a little more to go. Anyways, yeah, so I've been eating more frequently than ever, been eating more calories than I usually do, and still dropping weight and making good progress at the gym. So I can tell my stomach's starting to come in a bit, so I got the abs showing a little, got a lot more vascularity in the arms and stuff like that coming through. Have a little bit of veins starting to pop up on the quad. And I always carry a lot of fat in my lower stomach, and also like lower back area. So for me, that's going to be a problem area. So I still got a long ways to go, but my extremities leaning out really well, and yeah, making good progress. So this stuff does work, especially if you're really consistent and you stick to it good. Now, quick intermission. We've been cooking this for 8 minutes. Chicken's starting to turn color a little bit, which is good. So let that keep going. So now, got this ready to go. Let's turn the scale off, save some battery. And salt this. Put on some crushed pepper. And some more red pepper flakes. Now, if you want this more spicy, you can add more. But even a little bit tastes great, honestly. It gives it tons of flavor. Mix this up. Cool. Wash my hands again. Great. So now we got our second batch of chicken ready and waiting to go. I'm gonna set this up here. Bam, making progress. We still got 8 minutes left. So what I'm gonna show you, I'm just gonna clean up the trash, make the cleanup easier. So if you have time like this, do some cleanup, grab all the chicken scraps, whatever, grab your extra trays in here, and we'll just throw this stuff away. Right in the bin. And now, since we still have some more time, we're gonna start rinsing the next package of chicken breast and just get this ready to go. Doing things like this, man, it'll save you so much time. When I first started meal prepping, I knew what I had to do, obviously, but it's really all practice. The more you do it, the faster and better you become at it. So like learning little tricks, like what stuff you need to have ready, what stuff you need to have clean. One of the best speed hacks I have for doing this is starting with a clean kitchen. So if you start by washing all your dishes and getting everything out of the way, it's gonna make your life way easier because you'll have plenty of room to maneuver, plenty of room to put pans and Tupperware in and stuff like that. And you won't have to pull things out looking through cupboards and stuff when your food's ready. You just literally dump it in a pan. Saves you some time. So I'm a big fan of preparation. And I'm just trimming off some of this fat here again. Not a fan of that cartilage. And see this strip of fat there? Gross. Not a fan. Now, because I live in a little apartment, by the way, I prefer cooking things on the stovetop here because it's so convenient. A couple of the alternative ways I like to do meal prep is if I'm going to be cooking stuff in any sort of sauce, like sometimes I'll use like a low calorie barbecue sauce or marinade or something like that. So if I have the calories available to do that, sometimes I'll just dump a bunch of chicken breast after I rinse it and do this sort of thing into a crock pot, dump on some marinade, and just turn that thing on low for about 10 hours. And once you come back to it, it's just shredded chicken. It just falls apart, and that's really good. You can put that over rice or whatever else you want to do. And then lastly, if I did have it, and I'm in a little apartment like I said, so this doesn't really work for me now, but if I had one, if I had a big grill, you better believe I'd be outside grilling. That would be really nice, because like grilled meat, I don't think there's anything better than that. Don't get me wrong, this tastes amazing, but if I could do the exact same thing on a grill and get those nice char strips going on there, that would be delicious. So maybe when I get a house soon, we'll see. So washing hands up again. As you can see, we got plenty of chicken breast over here, rinsed off and ready to go. And it's sitting on top of that last package in there. So we got one package of chicken left. Okay, so now let's take a look back over here to this side of the kitchen. As you can see, we got 4 minutes left. The chicken's turned color, it's white. That means it's a little cooked. So what we're gonna do, let me try moving this around again, is, hopefully this works okay for you guys. Hopefully you can see that. I got my spatula. I'm gonna pull the lid off, and I'm just gonna slice this stuff apart a little bit. See that? Because when you cook it, it's gonna stick together a lot. And so if you want little bite-sized pieces like I do, that's why I cut everything up. It helps to just slice things up like this. Whoop. Nice and sliced up. This way, everything stays bite-sized through the whole cooking process. Cool, so all my chicken's chopped up. It's sort of like a little stir fry. Throw the lid back on this thing and let it finish up for 3 more minutes. So for now, I'm gonna pause and I'll come back for the end. Alright guys, welcome back. So the first batch of chicken just finished cooking. Timer is 0. Hopefully you can see this alright. So now that all my chicken's cooked, what I'm gonna do, grab the lid. Make sure you're getting pieces of chicken off there. Set this over here for a minute. Now I got my Tupperwares all ready, sitting on top of the microwave. So I'm just gonna scoop this out, drain the water out of there, and just toss it in. Now let's also just set this down for a sec. Scoop some of this over the edge. Now if you look at this pan, you'll see there's a lot of liquid, right? So that's what I mean when I say chicken has a lot of water in it. It's very water heavy. So got my Tupperware chicken over here. I'm just gonna set it on the microwave to cool off for a bit before we put it in the fridge. And now, since we pre-prepped this other chicken previously, I'm gonna dump it in. Set this plate back up there for later. Make sure this is spread out. And then throw the lid right back on. Now for the second batch, because since the stovetop's already warmed up, you can set this for about, I don't know, let's see, about 13 minutes if I remember right. It should just be just about it. So that's it. We got our first batch done, cooling off. Second batch is in progress. Here's what it looks like. It's a little hard to see under there, but that's it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop the video for now. I'm going to finish cooking the rest of the stuff and show you the final steps at the end, and then we'll have a meal together. Laters. Alright everyone, so finished cooking everything. Just got it all stacked up here. So in the end we've got 5 containers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of chicken. We got all of our rice in the bottom there, so everything's ready to go. I'm gonna pop these in the fridge and then we're gonna sit down and eat together. I also made one other portion of food for right now because it's mealtime. It's been 3 hours. Today I'm having 6 ounces of chicken and just some green veggies. I got some peas and some pearl onions and an energy drink. And since this is a no carb meal for me, this one in particular, just figured we'd have some dinner together. So talk to you in a bit. All right, cool, I'm back. So let's have some food. So anyways, this stuff is honestly quite good. Let's give it a try here. Fresh off the oven. Tender, a little spicy, got some kick, perfect amount of salt. Really good. So one of the things I really like to do too, which really helps with meal prep, is whenever I go to the grocery store, like Safeway or whatever, I'll go to the frozen section and buy huge bags of vegetables. So peas, pearl onions, green beans, chopped spinach, basically any green vegetables for the most part are always a good option. And I love onions, so I do onions quite a bit too. Pearl onions are like one of my favorites. And it just makes everything taste better, so makes it taste better, You get a few more calories, but I don't really count that stuff. Tastes really good and gives you plenty of vitamins and nutrients that you're not going to get from just plain old chicken and rice every single meal. Really good. Last tip before I go. I can't believe it's not butter. It's amazing. So if you're eating a lot of food with vegetables, when I was growing up, my mom would always make vegetables with butter on it. So this is the next best thing. No calories, improves the flavor, fits in perfectly to any diet plan or prep or whatever. So that's it. Hopefully this video was a little useful. I know it's sort of long, but I tried to show you guys the actual whole process. All in all, it took me about just a little bit under an hour to cook everything for an entire week. So I have all my week's worth of food done, with the exception, of course, of just heating up some vegetables when I need them, when I run out, and then throwing some more rice in the rice cooker in a couple days. But yeah, everything's real simple, great thing to do, really helps you stick to your diet. So best of luck with everything, and I'll come back with more videos in the near future. Peace.